In a small, weathered house at the end of a dusty road, dwelled a group of 7 boys. These boys, whose ages ranged from 6 to 16, had faced hardships their entire lives. Their parents had passed away when they were young, leaving them with nothing but a dilapidated house to call home. Times were tough, and they often went to bed hungry, struggling to make ends meet. One gloomy evening, as the boys sat around a dimly lit dining table with empty plates, their dire circumstances weighing heavily on their minds, the youngest among them, Daniel, looked up and questioned, "Why must life be so difficult for us? Why doesn't anyone care?" Tears filled the eyes of the eldest, Michael, as he struggled to find an answer. But in that moment of despair, a sudden knock at the door startled them all. With cautious hope, they opened it to find a gentle-hearted stranger named Samuel standing before them. Samuel had heard about their plight and arrived with a small basket of food. Introducing himself, he kindly said, "I learned about your situation and thought you could use this." Filled with gratitude, the boys invited him inside. While sharing a modest meal of bread and soup, Samuel spoke to the boys about faith and hope. He shared stories from the Bible, telling them about Jesus, who once said, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled." The boys listened attentively, feeling a glimmer of hope spark within their hearts after a long time. In the following weeks, Samuel continued to visit the boys, bringing food and sharing more stories from the Bible. They learned about the miracles Jesus had performed and how he had brought hope and salvation to those in need. Their faith grew stronger as they listened, and they started praying together each night, seeking guidance and assistance from Jesus. One day, as Samuel was leaving after his visit, he noticed a neglected and overgrown garden in the backyard. He suggested to the boys that they could plant vegetables and fruits to supplement their meals. With Samuel's guidance and the boys' tireless work, the garden slowly transformed into a lush and bountiful oasis. As time passed, their faith in Jesus and their efforts in the garden continued to flourish. The garden not only provided them with nourishment but also a sense of purpose and accomplishment. The boys no longer felt helpless and alone, they knew that Jesus was watching over them. News of the boys' incredible story and their thriving garden spread throughout the community. People from far and wide came to witness the miracle that had unfolded in that once barren backyard. The community rallied around the boys, providing them with more seeds, tools, and even assisting in repairing their old house. With newfound hope and support, the boys thrived. They continued to cultivate their garden, sharing their produce with others in need, just as Samuel had shared with them. The house, once a symbol of despair, now stood as a beacon of hope and resilience. The 7 boys never forgot the stranger who had brought them hope in their darkest hour. They held on to their belief in Jesus and the power of faith, understanding that with determination and a little divine intervention, even the most barren situations could bloom into something beautiful.